Alright, YouTube and Fallout community. Today I thought I'd do a video on some basic tips to help you survive the Wasteland in Fallout 4. Of course, we don't know anything about the game yet, but these are basic tips that you probably already use. Like, I know I use them every time I play, and like you guys probably already use them. Some of you may, some of you don't. They're basic tips, but when you put them all together, it can make a pretty good experience. And they should be helpful within Fallout 4. It's not going to be drastically different from 3 and New Vegas in the aspect of surviving. But first off, the first tip I'd give you is explore everything. Leave no stone unturned, as they say. Like, as soon as you come out the vault, just, survey your surrounding area. Just check everything, because we don't know if there's new containers that they might have shit in, and you don't know what all's important yet. Which is another tip: is keep everything. Keep everything at first when you first start the game. Or at least on your first playthrough, just keep everything, because as we know with the customization and with all the mods and stuff for your weapons now, like, everything has a purpose, because you can tear things down if you can't use them themselves. So keep everything at first until you decide what you might need and what you don't need. So yeah, explore everything, keep everything. Those are two basic tips. Find a storage location. I do this with Skyrim and both Fallouts. Like, they tell you, like, in I think both series, like Elder Scrolls and Fallout, not to keep your stuff in like random barrels and containers, because it won't be there. Like, they tell you to like get a house and leave stuff. I've never, in the entirety of playing Fallout 3, New Vegas, and Skyrim, and my multiple profiles with each, have I ever had anything disappear from any random container I've ever used. I've always used the dumpster in Good Springs right next to the to Chet's. God, I don't know the name of the store. Maybe it's Good Springs General Store. Right next to his, there's two dumpsters. I've always used those, and they've never had anything come up missing. Skyrim, I've always used the barrel right outside of the weapons store in Whiterun, where the chick is on the outside working on the thing, and then the guy's on the inside. There's a barrel right outside their place, and I've always stored my shit in there, and nothing's ever came up missing. So what I would recommend at first, whenever you play, is loot everything, just search everything, which is our basic obvious tips, and find a place where you can store your stuff so that you're not constantly carrying things, which is yet another tip that I have written down. Is just carry as little as possible. You want to carry only the necessities. Carry the few weapons you might be using. You probably should only have one set of armor on you. I've never once on any files carried multiple sets of armor. If I need a certain armor for a certain quest, I will go there, I'll fast travel to my storage, get rid of the armor I'm wearing, get the armor I need, and then fast travel back and do the quest. Like, this is stupid to carry multiple things on you. So yeah, carry as little as possible. Only what you need. Next, for better looting purposes, really, is so that you can carry more, so you can bring more back to your storage location, bring more back to the vendors and sell things. Next one would be to talk to every NPC. Now, what I tend to do whenever I go into like a new town, like say on Fallout 3 with Megaton, I'll walk in there, get to a good vantage point in Megaton, and I go into VATS, and I look around for any NPCs that have actual names, like Jericho in Megaton, and then, anybody that has an actual name, not just Megaton Settler, and I go and talk to them, because you just never know who's going to give you a quest, which is good. You want all the quests you can get, especially because we know in Fallout 4 that there is no level cap, so I'm all about spamming levels. Plus, we're back to they strayed away from what New Vegas did. Now you get a perk every level instead of every other level, so you definitely want to level as much as possible, so you want to quest as often as possible. My other recommendation would be to plan your character ahead of time. Know what you're going to do before you play the game. Like, know what kind of weapons you're going to use. Are you going to use guns? Are you going to use explosives? Are you going to use melee, unarmed, energy weapons? Plan that out ahead of time. That way you kind of go into the game knowing with what you're going to do. I personally I've almost always stuck with regular guns. I kind of mess around with some energy weapons here and there, and of course, if I like frag grenades on me, I use them. I don't really ever use the Fat Man. I don't really use the missile launcher, and I don't use like all the different kinds of energy weapons. I might just use the Gauss rifle, which is always fun, or I might use like a Tesla cannon in New Vegas, or like a laser rifle with a bunch of mods on it. I don't use like laser pistols or the weird stuff. So kind of plan out ahead of time what you're gonna do. I don't know if we have a full perk list yet, but if a full like perk setup comes out, or like a picture of all the perks come out before the game comes out, try to get in your head what you want to do, which perks you want to get. That way you just kind of make sure your playthrough go easier. And then another recommendation, which would be pretty simple, is start a new game on Fallout 3, or start a new game on New Vegas, or both. Maybe play on hardcore if you haven't, or if you if it's been a long time since you played on hardcore, you know, kind of get yourself in the mindset. Don't just blaze through it because, you know, what's the point in that, right? That's not as fun. But make it last. You know, try to do everything you can in Fallout 3 and New Vegas. Trying to, you know, get yourself in the Fallout zone. And that way you're not going into it kind of dry because you haven't played some Fallout in a while, which actually I guess could be good in itself. But I just think that, like, that's why I like, me personally right now, I'm playing through Fallout 3 doing all the DLCs and stuff because I haven't done those in a long time. So yeah, those are just a few basic tips. I might come out with some more. These are all, like I said, some of y'all mostly probably do this. I know most gamers that play Fallout probably would. But these are just some of my basic tips that you can use to prepare yourself for the Wasteland.